the first big one, what you tried. Yeah. Try to put me away out there. I think that's when I got the cut there, but I wanted to show the world I am the greatest now.
Few men in boxing history embodied toughness and determination like marvelous Marvin Hagler. The undisputed middleweight champion ruled the 1980s with iron fists and unmatched discipline. He wasn't just a fighter. He was a warrior built from grit, pain, and pride. Hagler's journey from the rough streets of Newark to the bright lights of Las Vegas was one of the most inspiring stories in sports. But behind that stoic expression, Hagler carried grudges that never faded. Throughout his career, Hagler faced betrayal, controversy, and what he saw as injustice, both inside and outside the ring. He respected great fighters.
Mugabi has it. There's an uppercut from Hagler.
But he hated arrogance, excuses, and favoritism. When Hagler finally opened up about the 6 boxers he couldn't stand, it wasn't about personal jealousy, it was about integrity. These were men who, in his eyes, disrespected boxing, the fans, or him personally. Let's step into the mind of one of boxing's fiercest champions and explore the 6 fighters Marvin Hagler truly hated the most, and why those rivalries never healed. 1. Sugar Ray Leonard. No name brought out more bitterness in Marvin Hagler than Sugar Ray Leonard. Their rivalry was personal, emotional, and unforgettable. After years of dominating the middleweight division, Hagler finally faced Leonard in 1987, a fight that would define both men's legacies. Leonard, who had retired multiple times, came back for one last challenge.
First round is going to be the most important round of the fight. He says he has to win the first round and gain marvelous respect.
Claiming he could beat Hagler with speed and smarts. The fight went the distance, and in one of boxing's most controversial decisions, Leonard won by split decision. Hagler never accepted that loss. "I beat him," he said countless times. "Everyone in that ring knew I beat him." He believed the judges favored Leonard's flashy style and popularity over his hard work and relentless attack. The bitterness lasted until the end of Hagler's life. He refused to watch the fight again and once said, "They robbed me of my title, my pride, and my desire to fight again." For Hagler, Leonard symbolized everything wrong with the business side of boxing: politics, showmanship, and manipulation. It wasn't just defeat, it was betrayal. 2. Thomas "Hitman" Hearns.
I'm just cautioning you now. Obey my command at all times. Shake hands, we'll have the more fun.
The 1985 war between Hagler and Hearns is one of the most electrifying fights in boxing history. The first round alone is still considered the greatest 3 minutes ever fought. But outside the ring, Hagler and Hearns' relationship was filled with tension. Hearns was taller, longer, and loved to talk. Before their fight, he taunted Hagler, calling him slow and overrated. That lit a fire under Hagler like never before. "He disrespected me," Hagler said later, "and nobody disrespects me." When the bell rang, Hagler stormed across the ring like a man possessed.
Ready for the fight, and here we go, round 1. Hagler.
The two traded brutal punches until Hagler stopped Hearns in the 3rd round with a right hand that sent him collapsing like a rag doll. Even after that victory, Hagler didn't soften. He respected Hearns' courage, but hated his arrogance. "You don't play tough, you be tough," Hagler once said. Hearns, to him, represented fighters who talked first and fought later. 3. Roberto Duran. Roberto, Hands of Stone. Duran was another legend who crossed paths with Hagler, and another man who managed to irritate him deeply. They fought in 1983, a grueling 15-round battle that Hagler won by decision. But what frustrated Hagler wasn't Duran's skill, it was his attitude. Duran, known for his brawling style, tried to outbox Hagler and taunted him during the fight. He smirked, danced, and whispered insults between rounds. Hagler, who prided himself on discipline and respect, saw it as pure disrespect. "He tried to clown his way through it," Hagler said. "He wanted to play games in my ring." Though Hagler got the win, he never forgot the way Duran mocked him. Duran was a great fighter, Hagler admitted. But he didn't have my heart. He could fight when he wanted, but I had to fight. There's a difference for John the Beast Mugabi. Few fighters ever tested Hagler's will like John Mugabi did. Their 1986 fight was a brutal war, one that pushed Hagler to his absolute limits. Mugabi came into the bout undefeated, with 25 knockouts in 25 fights. Hagler respected Mugabi's power but hated his cockiness. He thought he was going to walk through me, Hagler said. He thought I was old, done. For 11 savage rounds, the two exchanged bombs until Hagler finally broke Mugabi down and stopped him. But even in victory, the animosity lingered. Hagler felt Mugabi never gave him the respect he earned after the fight. He fought like a lion, Hagler admitted, but he never looked me in the eye after I beat him. That told me everything Mugabi symbolized a younger generation that Hagler believed lacked humility. To him, respect mattered more than records. 5. Alan Minter. If there was one rivalry that truly revealed Hagler's fire, it was his 1980 fight against Alan Minter in London. Minter made a fatal mistake before the bout. He said he would never lose his title to a black man. Those racist remarks fueled Hagler's rage like never before. That was personal, Hagler said years later. That wasn't boxing anymore, that was pride. When fight night came, Hagler dominated Minter from the opening bell. Blood poured from Minter's face as Hagler unleashed a merciless assault, forcing a third-round stoppage. But the moment Hagler's hand was raised, chaos erupted. British fans rioted, throwing bottles and debris into the ring. Hagler had to be escorted out under police protection. It was supposed to be his crowning moment, but it turned into a nightmare.
Scenes like this are rare, thank God, in British boxing, and I don't want to see their like again. Moving now.
He never forgave Minter, not for the loss of glory, but for the ugliness he brought into the sport. I earned that belt in blood, Hagler said, and they tried to take my moment away because of hate. 6. Mustafa Hamsho Marvin Hagler faced Mustafa Hamsho twice, and both times he came away with bruises, blood, and a burning dislike. Hamsho was tough, dirty, and unrelenting. He used elbows, headbutts, and constant clinching to frustrate Hagler. Their first fight in 1981 was a test of patience. Hagler won, but he walked away furious at Hamsho's tactics. When they met again in 1984, Hagler vowed to end it quickly, and he did, stopping Hamsho in the third round. He fought like a street brawler, not a boxer, Hagler said. He didn't want to win clean, he wanted to hurt you dirty. Hamsho's rough style brought out the savage side of Hagler. After the second fight, he admitted, I wanted to hurt him. I wanted to make him feel what he made me feel. To Hagler, boxing was brutal but honorable. Hamsho broke that code, and Hagler never forgave him for it. For Marvin Hagler, hate wasn't petty. It was passion. Every grudge, every rivalry, every scar was part of what made him one of the toughest champions in history. He didn't hate for the sake of hating. He hated those who, in his eyes, disrespected the sport he bled for. From Sugar Ray Leonard's politics to Alan Minter's prejudice, from Hearns' arrogance to Hamsho's dirtiness, Hagler's anger wasn't weakness. It was fuel. Even after retirement, when he moved quietly to Italy and lived out his days in peace, Hagler's memories of those rivalries remained sharp. You don't forget the ones who test your soul, he once said. And that's what made him marvelous. Not just his power, not just his title reign, but the unshakable fire that burned in his heart. For Marvin Hagler, hatred wasn't poison, it was purpose.